So first, how many values to be initialized? Employee name, ID, and salary, right? So for that, we need one class. So first, let me take one class, public class, a meaningful class name, employee, and its class body, open and close curly brace. Then second, for how many values to be initialized for each employee, those many instance variables you have to take, correct? So first one, employee name. So what's the type? String. String, since it is employee, I'll take e name. So where I'm following camel naming standards for variable names. Then second, employee ID. What type? Int type. Int say EID, I capital. Then last one, salary. So int ESAL, employee salary. Correct? These three things. So why we have to take these instance variables? Why can't we assign the values directly? Why can't we give some name and Sundar Pichai, one ID something 100, one salary some 7 million? Why don't we initialize the values directly? Why we should go for constructor? Yeah, because to assign multiple objects or to initialize multiple objects with similar values, then only we have to go for a constructor. So we have taken this instance variable. Then what's the constructor for this? To initialize these three variables, what's the constructor? Access modifier, public, then space. Constructor name must be same as a class name. So employee with same spelling. Here we can write any spelling, but here we have to follow the same spelling. Okay, employee. So then parentheses, how many inputs? 3 inputs. Same type or different type? String int int. Here, constructor also you have to have string int and int or something else. Here, what's the data type we have to use? String and int. And can I go for something else? Can I go for float, character, and double? Then how do you initialize this string value if you go for float? Not possible now. So therefore, first data type string. So we can take any order. So I'm taking string. Then can I take the same variable name? Yes or no? Recommended or not recommended? Recommended to take the same variable name. Okay. So if this is confusing, you have to learn. So it is ename, then comma. What second type? Int. What's variable name? EID, employee ID, I capital. Then third one, type int, name ESAL, S capital. So this is the constructor header and then constructor body. Now both the variable names are same. That is, instance variables and local variables are having the same name. Then what is the precise way to initialize them? Yeah, so this keyword is for local variables or instance variables? Instance variables, right? So here, the e name, which is a constructor parameter variable name called a local variable name, has to be assigned to this value to be assigned to the e name of the instance value. But if you write like this only, then both will become local variables and instance members will not be initialized. We'll get the default values as output. So therefore, to make sure that this is instance variable, so we have to use this keyword dot. Yeah, similarly for second one also, EID, then followed by EID, and to make represent this as instance, this dot EID. Then similarly, this dot ESAL equals ESAL. Yeah. So that's it. So this is the purpose of a constructor. That's all. Then since we have to print multiple values, what is the recommended? Display method. So tell me the syntax. Public. The next void. Any method name we can use. So here I am using display name. It's a meaningful thing. Because it sounds like a meaningful name, so I'm using here. Then followed by, so print system.out.println. Print what? The current class instance variable called ename. So this dot ename. Then followed by one more time the print function. Then this dot EID. Then one more time print the third value for each employee object ESAL. These three values you have to print for each employee object. So therefore, so here it is preferably this dot ESAL. Correct? Now how to execute? take main method. Main method has to be separately in separate class, and can be in the same class also. Can be in the same class also. This is the extra point which I would like to add. In our previous classes, when I execute through Eclipse also, I have taken separate class, some test or sample or example. But we can have from the main method also, we can have in the same employee class only. And one more common mistake is, whenever we are writing, we'll close this class here only. Or we'll close this class here only. Or we'll close this class here only. These are the possible mistakes. So that means syntactically our code is incorrect. So don't close here and here and here. So it has to be, everything should be inside a employee class body. So I'm taking public static void main, and we know the syntax. I'm not writing inside this main method body. What we have to do? Create the object, correct? So class name employee, then object name emp equals new employee. Yeah. So what is the constructor? This class is having a constructor which takes 3 arguments. One is string followed by int followed by int. That is the order. So what do you have to pass? Some employee name, say Sundar Pichai. Now he is having no job, I think. We'll give job. Sundar Pichai, employee ID, some 1001, some number, integer. Then salary. You know how much is salary? It is 63 million. Yeah. Then at least I should give some extra zeros which we can't imagine, right? Then end of this with semicolon. Yeah. Then how do you print this data? Yeah, EMP, object reference dot display method. So is the approach to print first employee display method. That's it. Everything we can write in the same class, or this main method we can write in a separate class also. Am I clear with this? Any questions? No. Shall we execute? Yeah. No need. Will execute or no need? No need. No need. Okay. So those who don't know how to create it directly with shortcuts, you can listen. Others can take rest. New. I'll take a class, employee class. Employee class. To this class, we can take main method, but later we'll go for it. So I'm giving the class name only. Only class name I have taken. In this class name, how many instance variables are required? 3. First one, string e name, employee name. That's it. Then second, int esal or eid. I'll go same order. The next, int esal. 3 variables are there. So far, we are typing the constructor code in the previous class also. Now, can we generate constructors? Without we type the code, can Eclipse generate constructors for us? Yes, it can. So right click, go to, there is one option called as source. Then go to one option called as generate constructor using fields. Right click, source, generate constructor using fields. So here we want for all these 3 fields. So therefore, it's by default selected. If not, you can click select all, then simply click on generate. That's all. Yeah. So this is the recommended approach to generate the constructor, because programmer may make some mistake while typing, so that the execution wise will get some unknown errors. So therefore, it is always recommended to go for a managerial techniques. Yeah, after we know the concept, we have to go for shortcuts only, so that our program time will be less, even typing time. So employee time will be less, right? So this is a recommended approach. Then followed by, for display method, it's not a predefined thing. So that's why we have to type. So public void display is a method. And inside this display method, so let us quickly print all these 3. I'll type. So here, this dot e name. The next, then again I'm using CISO control space, and here this dot e number, sorry, eid. Then followed by this dot eSal, print of this dot eSal. Yeah, so these are the three variable values to print. Then from the same class, we can also have main method. So I'll take public static void main method, and here string square brackets space args. Then inside this one, so what you have to do? Create the object for a employee class. So class name emp control space, I'm not typing. Then my variable name equals new control space, enter. Then it is taking three arguments. The first one is some name of our choice. So since it's a name, in double quotes, say Sundar. Then second employee ID, some 1001. Then followed by some salary. So int can take such big value. Yes, it's not more than 10 digits. Then to print it, emp dot display method, and that's it. Let us save. Control F11 to execute. So we got the output. Yeah, so this is the approach. And one more new learning is we can generate the constructor for a given fields automatically. So that is from Eclipse, right click, go to source, then next generate constructor using fields. Click on this, select them, and also click on generate. That's the approach. We already did, so I'm canceling. Am I clear? Any questions? Clear? Yeah. What is this super call? What is this super call? So there is in every constructor, by default, compiler will add one called as super function call. Not only in default constructor, in every constructor. So there is one important point, and also it is some half an hour concept. I'll discuss later once we go to inheritance. Yeah, if I say now also, so this is just a point only, but what is the use of it? I can't convince you. So therefore later we'll discuss about it. Clear about it? So this is about the introduction of constructor. As I said, as we move on, everywhere we'll be discussing about the constructor concept again. Yeah. So if you have any questions, please ask. Am I going fast? Shall I repeat anything? Online? Do you have any questions, please? Yeah. So then the next question. So for this next question, the next concept, let me take one scenario. Yeah. So there is a concept called as encapsulation. Encapsulation. So first, what is the meaning of this encapsulation? Yeah. So for that, let me take one situation or one scenario. Assume that there is a institute. There is one institute. In this institute, there are various departments are there. Like, so there is a admin department, and there is a HR department. Then there is a trainers department, and also there is a student department. Various different departments are there. So this project is given to two different Java developers. So there is a Java developer 1 and there is a Java developer 2. Two of them are writing this code in two different approaches. So one approach, so developer 1 approach is this way. That is, developer 1 created one class, public class institute. Inside this one, there are some variables for admin department, some variables for HR department, for trainers and also for students, some variables. So therefore, let me take some string, some admin related names. So n name of admin 1. There are some admin 2 and all. Some variables with some values are there. Then followed by again some more variables for HR and also trainers and also students. Then followed by for each department there are some methods also there. So public return type doesn't matter, public void. So when it comes to admin, so there is a admin method is there. Yeah, one method. It is doing some logic. Don't bother about it. Then there is HR department, some public void, some salary methods related to salary is there. Then followed by when it comes to public void trainers related method, some take class method is there for trainers related. Yeah, parenthesis and also body. When it comes to student, then public void, some read method is there for student. Like this developer one has completed the project. Okay. Assume that it is given to institute. Then there is a second developer. The developer 2 is writing the code like this. What is that is? One class, public class name is admin. And inside this one, all variables and also methods which are related to only admin. Then one more class, public class, HR class. And inside this one, only HR related variables and also HR related methods. Only like that. Then followed by third class and fourth class also. One is for trainers class and one more is again it's related variables and also methods. And followed by public class, student class also there and student related variables and also methods. So 4 separate classes in this scenario. And this application is also developed and this also given to this institute. Okay. So which approach you think is better? Developer 1 or developer 2? Yeah, please guess it. Guess for free. No price. Yeah, online please type D1, D2. You type D1, D2, whichever you feel is right. Please respond. Yeah, which one? Which approach you think is better? D1. Okay. Next. D1, D2. You cannot say. Okay, so here some D1s, some D2s, and here also offline, some D1s and some D2s. Equally they are there. Yeah. Oh, anybody can give the reason why you think D1 or why you think D2? Can you give the reasons? Yeah, I'll explain. But so you have some opinion, right? What is reason for your opinion? Just keep it simple. I'm not going to judge you. Just your mind says something, right? So because of so and so, D1 is better for me. Because of so and so, D2 is better for me. What is that because of? Okay, same answer. What is your reason for D2? Okay, just you guessed also. Say that I just guessed it. I have no reason. Fine. Yeah. So then, from online, if I get any reason, that will be more better. D2 because JVM can enters to what's required and comes out. Okay. Yeah. So in one institute, does admin needs to talk to each other? Admin department will talk to HR team in a real time scenario. If this is one company, admin people will talk to HR or not? Admin people will talk to trainers or not? Yes or no? Admin people will talk to students or not? Yeah, they may take the admissions and all those things, right? Then HR team will discuss about everything with everybody. So HR has to provide some resources, be it with students or employees and admin salaries and all those things will be there, right? Trainers also will be discussing with all the remaining things per se, some of the other reasons, right? So they will talk each other. So that is, it's not a separate package. In one package, all classes were there. Okay. Yeah. So here, I'm not saying the reasons directly, but I'm asking you some questions. My first question is, assume this developer one left the company for whatever is a reason. This developer one, D1, left the company, but application will be there now. Yeah. So therefore, the D3, developer 3, as a new developer, came to the same D1's position. Yeah. First, what D3 has to do? D3 has to understand what is the code written by D1, developer 1 code. Correct or not? Is it easy to understand? Yes or no? Yes or no? No. What is the reason? Yeah. So he knows how to understand, but is it easy to understand? It is challenging because so this all variables, everything in one single class only. All methods are there in one single class only. Which one is belongs to what? Will there be any clarity or confusion? Confusion, right? But if D2 left the company, a D4 came in place of D2. Is it easy to understand? Yes or no? So that's the reason. That's one reason. Which approach is better? Which is better? D2. Correct? Next. Next. I'll write all those points. I'll write it. Please understand the concept. That's all. Next reason. So this developer one's application is given to this application is given to this institute. Okay. Whenever this institute is using the application, so one fine day they find some error. One fine day they find some bug in the application. It is not working according to what they expect. So then, so is it easy for this developer one to rectify the error? It's easy, or he has to go through entire code? Is it the error is coming from admin or HR or trainer or student? Is it easy to identify? No. So therefore, what this developer has to do? He has to search for or check for entire code. Yes or no? Which is time-taking process. But the same application, if it is given to this institute, when they get error, if they get some error in these two scenarios, so this second time, this D2 approach, is it easy to fix the error or not? Yes or no? Because if error coming from admin, do we need to check HR and trainer and student? No, only that admin code only we have to check. That's all. So remaining code is not required. Yes or no? So that is, which approach is better? D2 approach is better for two reasons. What's the first reason? Easy to read and understand the code. Second reason, easy to fix the errors. Yeah. The next, third one, after some days, this institute is grown. Institute has grown. So they have come up with one more department called, say, market department. Yeah, I'll write clearly. Market department. It means they want to add one more module to the existing application of them. So obviously they approach to the developers only. Okay, you only did my previous project. Can you add some more functionality to my application? Then which approach is better? So there is one more department wants to add by this institute. So therefore, so again, adding all these variables, market related variables and market related methods in the same thing is better, or creating a separate class and doing this is better? Creating a separate class. Why? Yeah, because whenever we are writing this market code, because it has to interact with maybe admin, maybe HR and all. So existing functionality also may be disturbed. Yes or no? We have to change maybe the previous code and all those things. But here, if we create a separate class, say public class, some market class and market related variables and methods. So therefore, there is no disturbance to the existing code. So for all these reasons, which is recommended? Understood? That process is called as a encapsulation. That process called as encapsulation. I'll write the definition. So that definition also will confuse you. So the even D1 also looks like the same definition only. Yeah. So first let me write what is encapsulation. Encapsulation. So whenever you get this question in interview, you can give this definition. Binding logically related data and functionalities into one common entity or single entity is known as encapsulation. Yeah. If you just open a Google and type what is encapsulation, they'll give a medicine capsule example. Correct? Yeah. I will not comment, but I will not follow that. Yeah. So this is the definition of a encapsulation. Binding means putting together, like admin department related data in one class, HR department data in one class. That's nothing but encapsulate, binding the data. Logically related data means only that HR related variables and methods, not something admin and everything in one thing. And the functionality means some methods into one single entity. So for our simplest understanding, entity means a class. Into one single entity and to one single class. That's called as a encapsulation. Yeah. So then the first one also looks like encapsulation. First one also looks like encapsulation because everything related to institute in one institute class. Yeah. But first one is not following. This D1's approach is not following encapsulation. Not following. Because I have asked few questions. Every time you agreed that D2 is better. Yeah. So therefore, this approach is not following the encapsulation concept. It looks like the same because all institute things in institute class only. Why it is not encapsulation? Because there are subdivisions for all these, they clubbed into one single entity, not logically related. Yeah. Therefore, D2's approach is this D2 is following encapsulation. Encapsulation. Yeah. Clear, guys? Then what are the advantages? Why we should follow encapsulation? If you get a cross question, what is your answers? The one of the reason is encapsulation improves code readability and also code understandability. Any Java dev person can read and understand the code if we follow encapsulation. Code readability or code understandability. Then second reason, code maintainability. Maintainability. Yeah, please use the technical terms in interviews. If you say so simple terms like fixing errors and all those things directly, so that will put us little negative. So then if you get a cross question, what is maintainability? Then you can say, so we can add new, we can easily fix errors. That's called as maintenance. And we can also easily add new features. We can easily add new features can be added to the existing application. So these are some reasons. What's the meaning of maintainability? Clear? So this is encapsulation means. So whenever we write the code also in one package, we have to take a separate class. That's where in the introduction or coding classes, we don't use everything in one single class only. We can create a square class. We can have an area method. We can also print from the main method of the same class. So that's not encapsulation. The square class should have only square class functionality like area and perimeter methods. Don't use main method in that and print it. Then we are missing the encapsulation. Am I clear? Or anyone, any questions, any doubts? Any questions, please? No. Yeah. So then there is a second approach or second way of defining encapsulation. There is a second approach of defining this encapsulation. So for that, two more simple concepts to understand. Then I'll tell you what is the second way of defining the encapsulation in Java. So for that, the first thing to understand is data hiding. Data hiding. Yeah. So what is this data hiding? So for that, let me take one example. There is a class public class bank. Public class bank. Inside this bank class, I have a variable. So for this, I am also using data type public int money equals 1 lakh. Am I correct? Syntactically or wrong? So previously, so far what we discussed, only data type, then variable and value semicolon. To this, what I'm adding? Access modifier also I'm adding. So can we add or not? So we can add. Okay, we can add even the access modifier to the variables also. Yes, so if anybody don't know this before, it's a time to know. Correct? Next, if this is real money, if this is your money, then is it possible to access from some other class? Is it possible or not possible? Class object concept. Possible or not possible? Possible. So what I'll do, I'll take one more class called as test class. Inside this test class, public static void main, and then followed by inside this main, how do we access this? Bank class name, B object name, new. Again, bank. What constructor this is? What constructor this is? No arguments constructor, no? Are we giving any constructor? No. Then who is giving? Yeah, default constructor is given by Java compiler. Okay. So then if this is a B is a object reference for this, then can we print this? System.out.println print B dot, what's the variable name? Money. Is it possible to access? Is it possible to access or not? Yes. Therefore, what's the output of this line? 1 lakh. Correct or not? Then followed by the next line of code. So here B dot money. So can we access the variable? Can we access this variable or not? Then equals, can I make the balance 0? Can we assign a new value? Once we access, can we assign a new value? Yes, we can do it. Then after this one, after this again system.out.println B dot money. What's output? 0. But does this person knows that his account became 0? Yes or no? Does this person knows that his account balance becomes 0? No, because this is visible. This variable called money or balance, if I change the variable name, whatever it is, this is visible to the other classes directly. Yes or no? Then everybody can create the object once we know the class name. Then we can access it and also we can modify it also. This is called as modifying the value. So for this existing variable value, we are modifying. When somebody modifies your account balance to 0, will you accept? No. Correct or not? So they say same problem here also. What is that? There is no hiding. There is no security. There is no security for this money variable. Then how do we do that? How do we provide security? By making this as a Others should not access. What are you supposed to do? Private, correct or not? So therefore, the solution for this is, if this class, other class can create the object, but the other class should not access my money or balance because it's so personal for me. Others should not access. Therefore, the reason for making this is private. Public means everybody can access and modify. There is no security. There is no security if it is public. But if you make private, is it possible to access? Yes or no? No, it's not possible. So now this object creation is fine. This object creation is fine. But if you try to access this one, immediately we are going to get the error. Because private variables are possible to access within the declared class body only. Here only we can access. But outside it's not possible. Correct? Yeah. So therefore, this line also will be error. And all these lines are errors after we make that as private. Correct or not? Now, assume that this is your bank account. Is that code will be with us? If I am a account holder, my bank code will be with me or with bank people? With bank people. Who is the account holder? I am the account holder, right? Then I should check my balance or not? Yes or no? How do I check it? If it is private, is it available for me? No, that this class is created by some, assume that my account is with some A bank. A bank. So therefore, they will create this code. No, they'll write this code, right? Or their developers will write this code. So they are making this variable as a private. My money or my balance. So they are making this as a private. If this is private, then as a customer account holder, I have to check my money, no? So I want to do some transactions and all. First, I have to check how much is available. Is it possible for me to check? Outside people can access if it's private? No. Then as an account holder also, I am unable to access. Then what's the purpose of having account there? Correct? So therefore, one thing is security is required. Therefore, no option we have to make this private only. But how do we provide access to the valid people? Sorry? No, protected means again outside class can access. Yeah. So here, so for that, there is a solution called as getters and setters. Getters and setters is a solution. Make your variable as private, but to provide access to the authorized people or account holders or bank people. So they are able to, they should be access our account, right? Another normal person should not access, but account holder should access, bank people also should access, authorized people should access. Then for that, how do we give the authorization? That we'll discuss later. But how do we provide that accessibility? That is with the help of the getters and setters. The concept is getter and setter. What getter will do? Getter will only get it. Name itself, we have the meaning. Getter will get means if at all I want to check the balance, get method I have to use. Yeah. Then I want to transfer something, or I want to deposit something, some more extra money, or I want to withdraw something. Then through set method, we can set the balance. So from 1 lakh, I can make it as 50,000. For 1 lakh, I can make it as 2 lakhs also by doing some adding, transferring and all those things. So that is with the help of the set. Getter will only get it, setter will only set it. Yeah. So getter will not do setter job, setter will not do getter job. So that is a getters and setters. Then what is the syntax of this? Getters and setters are methods. Through getter method and setter method, we have to we will get the access for a private variable. Okay. So then what is the syntax for that getter? Okay. Shall I keep it money or shall I make it change to balance? Anything is fine. Okay. So getters and setters must be public. Must be public because public only will provide the access for the authorized people. If I make that also private, then what's the purpose of making it? Correct or not? So therefore, access modifier public. Please listen this carefully. Access modifier public. Yeah. Getter will get what? Getter will give the information of private variable. Therefore, what should be the return type? the return type of getter method should be same type as a private variable. Money is which type? Int type. Therefore, the return type of getter has to be same thing as private type only. Yeah. Then, so for this money, the getter method is get money M capital. Get is not any predefined keyword and all. It is just a convenience we'll be using. Like a plus b whole square only we'll learn. Did you ever write a plus b whole square formula for p plus q whole square? We did not write, right? Then why we'll use only a plus b x plus y? It is just a convenience. Same way here also, get is one convenience. It's not any predefined keywords. Okay. Then, since method name should follow which type of naming standards? Pascal or camel? Method names. Camel. That's why the private variable name only we have to use after get. But we have to follow camel naming standards. That's the second word has to start with capital letter. Yeah. So then, what is the input? Does get method needs any input to modify? No, it is only gives the information. It doesn't need any input. That's why only parenthesis, then open curly brace, close curly brace. Are we done with the syntax? Yes or no? No. No. What's return type? Void or some value type? Value type. Then without return, is it correct? No. So we must use the return statement. So then return keyword, return. What it has to return? Integer. Any integer value. So that is our money. So it is instance variable. Money is instance variable or not? A variable which is inside a class, outside a method without static. Is it instance or not? Then what's the recommendation? This dot money. This is getter. So getter should be public. Getter's return type should be same type as your private variable called int in this scenario. Then get is not a keyword, but which is professional way to write it. Get. Then the same variable name we have to use as the second part of the method name, a second word of the method name, but by following the camel naming rules. And get will not take any inputs. Since return type is integer, it has to return integer, which is our private variable. So it is instance variable. Therefore, this keyword is recommended to use. Understood? Yeah. Then what is setter? The setter is also public only. Setter also must be public. Then followed by, does setter will return anything? Set will only set the information. It will not give the information. So therefore, return type void. Then what's the standard? Set is recommended to use. Followed by same variable name as a method name, but by following the camel naming rules. So set wants to set the money. I want to add something. I want to subtract something. Then for adding something to integer, what should be the type also? Integer only. So then only we can add it. So therefore, here also I'll go for int. Can we take same variable? No, I'll take some variable called m. Yeah. So here based on if conditions, if it is some add deposit plus symbol, some logic. If it is withdrawal minus symbol, some logic. Yeah. If it is transfer and all those things, we can write the logical part and all. So as I don't go that much detail, it's not required. So simply I'm printing it. I'm printing system.out.println. So what is that? The current money, current class instance variable called this dot money. Whenever we add something, add whatever you want to deposit. So 1 lakh is there. I want to add 50,000. Therefore, so this this will have 1 lakh. This will have 50,000. My variable, whenever I am calling, I'll pass some value. Therefore, that will be printed. Similarly, I want to withdraw something. This same only I'll be using for subtraction with some if conditions and all those things. So as I said, that much detail I'm not going. It's not required also. Understood? How it is setting money? Just example, I have given the deposit or plus. Yeah. So let me go through this. Setter also will be public type only. It is must. Therefore, and set will not give information. So therefore, void is nothing but no information from the method body. Then set is not a predefined keyword, but recommended to use set. Then followed by same private variable name by following Pascal naming standards as a method name. Then since set is setting the private variable data, so the private variable is int type, therefore set parameter type also must be int type only. Then some variable name, we can go for same variable name also, no issues. Then followed by system.out.println current class instance variable, therefore this keyword, this dot money plus m or money x, y, z, we can use anything. So this is the process to get the security. We are using the variable as a private. Therefore, now other classes cannot access. But how it is required, required to provide the authorization for valid people or authorized people with the help of getters and setters only. Understood? So now let me go for the next part of it. I am erasing something. Only object creation is fine at this point of time. Remaining things are errors. After adding this private, the next thing is now how do we access? How do we access? So for this, let me go for object creation. Any problem? No. Can we create the object or not? A bank, then A bank. Correct or wrong? Object creation is allowed or will not be allowed? It's allowed, right? So class name is A bank. Therefore, now class name, object name equals new class name. Default constructor semicolon, right? Then B dot get money. And any inputs? No inputs. Can we call this method or not? B dot get money. Can we call? Yes. Then how to see that? System.out.println print B dot get money. What this line of code will give? This line will give output called as 1 lakh. Yes or no? Get is getting the information of private variable. So then followed by, can we also call B dot set money? B dot set money. Possible or not possible? Possible. What is the input? What is input? Int type. Then I'll pass something called 50,000. Possible? Yes or no? Once this method is executed, what will happen? Inside this method, so previously 1 lakh is the information. Then, so plus 50,000 is added and that value to be updated. Where it will be updated? Where it will be updated? To the same private variable only. So later on, we can print it. Sorry, first of all, printing is not recommended. Then here also, I'll assign to the current class private variable, this dot money only. So current money plus 50,000 and update back to the same class private variable only. So now what will be updated? 1,50,000 is the current latest value of this private variable value. Correct or not? So what set is doing? Set is only setting. So after setting, again I want to call get. What this will give? What's update? 1 lakh. So here is 1 lakh is the output, but here 1,50,000 is the output. So this is how getters and setters will provide the access to through get method, get and also set methods. Yeah. But as a customer point of view, if I think, does any of the class code will be with us? As a customer, any class code will be with us? If you're having some bank account, do we have anything of this? If you go to bank, will they give? If you ask me what is my bank class code, can you give? Will they give, the bank people? No. But how do we able to access our bank balance? How do we able to make some transactions and all? It is through the user interface. End user will not have anything as a bank class code or accessibility code also. So what user will have? Some bank application will be having. This is called as a UI, user interface. What is bank application? How do I authorize my account? So for every bank user, there is a login ID and also password. Correct or not? Whenever we use internet banking and all those things, so there is a login ID and there is a password. So then once as an account holder, if I enter my user ID and password correct or login ID and password is correct, then what I'll get on the home screen, I'll get one button. Click on balance. Correct or not? This is the button. We click on the button. So once we click on this button, what is this? What is the purpose of this balance? It has to give me the available balance in my account, right? So which method will give that? Get or setter? Get method will give the information or set method? Get only. So when user clicks on this button, then that will go and execute the get money method. So therefore, it will return something and it will be displayed as a amount here in place of this balance in the text box. Correct? Then I have one more thing called as transfer. I want to transfer some money to my friend. What is that? Are we getting the information or we are setting the information? Setting the information. So whenever we click on this transfer button from this bank app, that will internally execute this set money method. Yeah. So this is how internally it will work as a programmer. So sorry, as an end user, nothing will be in our control, but it depends on what do we do. The appropriate get method or set method will be executed. In that, the programmers will write the logic. Understood? So this is nothing but a data hiding concept. How to hide the data? Make the variable as a private. Yeah. Then how to provide the access? With the help of getters and setters. What are the rule for getters and setters? Getters and setters must be public. Getters return type should be same as a private variable type, and get method should be get followed by private variable name, which will not take any input. It will only return with the help of return keyword. Then what is set method syntax? Set should be public and set will not give information. Therefore, return type should be void, and set money method name should be, set method name should be set followed by private variable name, and set will set the information of same type. Therefore, the whatever the private variable type, same type only we have to use. Then some variable of programmer choice. Then you can modify based on the requirements in real-time scenario. For example, here I'm writing addition and we are updating the same thing to private variable only. Then we can create the object and call the get money to get only information and call the set money to modify the value. But as the end user, so we'll be using the user ID, UI, user interface applications only. So therefore, with a authorized credentials, authorized people only can get the access of the balance and also able to do some transactions and all. So this is data hiding concept. Yeah. So next. So if anybody thinks here, you'll get one question or one doubt. Which looks like a normal method. Yeah. Setter getter. Normal method only. Methods means this much only. I mean syntactically. What is this logical part and all? We should not bother about it. But get is this much only. Yeah. What is your meaning of normal method? I didn't understand. Yeah. So the expected question is, what is our intention? Other people should not access our data. That's why it's private. But still it is able to modify, no? We will be able to modify it. Yes or no? Still, is there any security? So they can go for set method. They can create the object for the class. They can call the set method and they can modify my balance. Yes or no? But this is in whose control? Providing this set money method access to the outsiders is in whose control? Is it in the safe hands or is it not in the safe hands? It is always in the safe hands only from the back end. It is in the safe hands only. So if they want, they can make it private whenever it's not required. Yes or no? So if they make it as private, nobody can access. Correct or not? So that is why, even though it looks like still we can modify through set method, but it is under a valid people control only, not outside class control. not somebody else control, only authorized people control only it is there. Yeah, so this is how a security. And the next important point is to provide security, what we are using? Private members. Private members. Yeah, so this is Java's one of the biggest feature, that encapsulation will provide the security feature in Java, where if you compare with some other programming languages, other programming languages are not as secured as Java. So Python is lacking behind because of Python is not 100% encapsulated. It also supports OOPS only, but encapsulation, there is a weakness is that Python will not provide that. Yeah, and we all will use Android mobiles, right? Our data is protected, needs to be protected, right? Everybody can access our data. No, we'll create some business cards and all those things. Our data, name, phone number, mail ID, some passwords and all. Yeah. So this Android also, wherever there is a security, so Android uses Java there. Yeah. So this is about first concept of data hiding. Yeah. Then shall we go for the execution of this? Yeah. So we'll go for the Eclipse. I'll close this one, and from this same, I'll go for a new class. I'll name this as data hiding demo. Yeah, I'm not taking main method. So first, okay, inside this class, let's go for one variable which is public. Public int money equals the same example I'm trying to take. Yeah, so then is it possible? Is it possible? Okay, yeah, just a second. So inside this file only, I'll take one more class, say class bank. Inside this, I'll keep this variable public int money. Now, is it possible to access this variable from outside classes? Yes or no? Public static void main method. Inside this one, string square brackets space args. I could have selected. It's fine. Then here, it's a body. Now, can we create object for this bank class? Bank b equals new bank. Default constructor semicolon. Now, can we access this money? Yes or no? B dot money is my variable. Then I can able to access it. Can we modify? B dot money, B dot money, and here I'll make this as 0. Now I'll print once again. What happened to the balance? Become 0. Means outside people can access this data. There is no security. Then how to provide security? How to provide security? Make this as a private. So I'll write in new line so that you can have everything in the code. So inside this, now observe, I'm just making this as private. Sorry. You can see where are the errors. As soon as I make this variable as private, then accessing is throwing the error. That means since it is a private member, we are unable to access from here. So security we got. Then how do we provide the access then? So I'm using a multi-line commented control shift slash. Control shift slash will comment multiple lines at the same time. Yeah. So then, so now how do we provide the access? With the help of getters and setters. Getters and also setters. Then how do we write the code for that? Same thing. Can you please tell me? Getter should be public or private? Method should be public. So here I am writing the getter. So public is the access modifier followed by return type. Return type int Method name, get money, follow the Pascal rules. What is the input? What is the input? No input because get will only get the information. Then followed by return. So return this dot money is the variable. That's all. So this is the getter syntax. Then what is setter syntax? So now it is setter. So inside this one, yeah, public return type void because setter will not give information. Then method name set money. Then what's input? Int some m of programmer choice. Then the body. What this has to do? This dot money equals m. Whatever we pass the value that we assign, we add, we subtract, all those things we can do it. So this is about the syntax. Now with the help of getter, is it possible to get the information? Yes or no? B dot get money method I am using. So now, so this is returning something. So we can catch and print, or directly we can use inside the print function also. I'll cut this and I'll use a print syntax. Then inside this one, I'll call that get money. Now do we get the output or not? Yes, just to show you difference, I'll take some 2 lakh. You think that I am showing previous output? So I execute my program once again. Did we get money, get the information? Then how do you modify? Through set money. How do you update or modify? Through set money only. So B dot, what method? Set money method. Set money method. And here I am changing this to some 5 lakh. That's all. After this, again I use the get money method. Copy, Control C, paste, Control V. Let me save it. Now again, I run this application. So before get, or previously it was 2 lakh. Now later on this modified to 50,000 only have given. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Previously 20 lakhs. Now it has become 5 lakh. So get money, get the information. Set money, set the information. After that, again, we are getting the available balance. So this is about the getters and setters. It is data hiding concept. Yeah. Still, if anyone has any doubts and all, I could guess this doubt. So I'll tell you what is that also. Just a second. So in a real-time scenario, the UI or the front end, whatever we are getting in the mobile application. So this is some banking mobile app. So in the backend, the Java code will be there. This is called as front end, and there is a backend. Yeah. So this all things will be in the backend part, and that will be connected to the front end. Whenever we give your user ID and a password, then it has to be authorized. No, is it correct person or not? Then that will be checking in the backend. Okay, so and so user of a bank is accessing his application. First check he is authorized person or not. Then in the backend database will be there. There the data is matching or not will be cross-checked. Then if it is yes, then go to the home page. From here, the same banking application only will log in, will see the home page. So there you'll find some balance, and also you'll find some transfer buttons and all those things. Once you click on this balance, okay, this person is authorized only. Therefore, this person is having some account related information. So go and execute that get method in this. Then that will return some value, and in some approach, we can print it. that is seen in the text box. Okay. So if you are a front-end developer, the basics will understand as part of our course. If you are not enrolled for front-end, then this is how you have to understand. Then similarly, whenever you click on this transfer, so this account holder is having some data in the backend, go and execute that set method. Then that will be modified and updated. If you want to check it back again, click on this balance, again get method will give the information. Yeah, so this is complete a project level thing. It's very big task. It's a big task. But in that is a small part just to understand. And here, one more thing to remember, when it comes to a company or a job, once we get placed in Java, we are learning some 20-30 topics, just assume. So out of that, encapsulation and abstraction is one concept, inheritance, polymorphism is one concept, then collections and this and that, so many concepts are there, right? So when it comes to the job for selection, job selection, we have to know all. We have to know all concepts. But once we get placed, as per our work-wise, we may work on only one module. Maybe your company will work on only inheritance. Therefore, we'll be using only inheritance. Our day to every day the work is based on inheritance only. Or your company may provide security. Therefore, you have to work on encapsulation only. But for getting selected, you have to know everything. Yeah. So they expect that complete knowledge for getting selected into a job. But once we place into a job, our work will be maybe one module or maybe two modules like that. Okay. This is about data hiding. Then the next simple concept only. Something is abstraction. What is abstraction? Anybody knows? No. Okay. For example, so here I have logged in. I have logged into Zoom account. I have created one meet link, Zoom meeting link. I have created. Then I have clicked on. I have clicked that link. What happened? Some window came, and this is the window. And here there are too many things are there. Audio muting is there, video, and a presenter mute it. So there are so many options are there. So when I click on this audio, now they are unable to listen to me. But how that is happening? How that is happening? Internally, right? So for example, same thing. Whenever we are using this WhatsApp, I open, I select on my friend name, then I type some message, I press enter. The message will go to my friend. How it is going to that person only? Are we aware of that? No, right? When you make a call, the call will go to that particular person, but he's in somewhere else. How that call is going? What is the process which is happening there? Are we aware of? No, right? So that is nothing but abstraction. That is nothing but abstraction. What is scanner class internally doing? Are we aware of? No, right? Then how that replace method is working to replace? How main method is working? How JVM is executing? Are we aware of all these things? No, right? But we know how to use it. Correct or not? That's abstraction. So let me give the definition. The definition of this abstraction is hiding implementation details. Hiding implementation means how WhatsApp is sending the message, how Zoom is connecting the people, how mobile is or is making calls and all. That is nothing but implementation. So hiding implementation and exposing exposing required details only, required information is called abstraction. Yeah. Hiding the implementation means, so these things, do we really need to know? We no need to know. It's unnecessary headache for us. Correct or not? So internally they are doing their job. So my purpose is, if I make a call, it should go to correct person. If I send the money, then it should reach received by correct person only. So that how it is going to the correct person, then what is happening internally, that is none of our business. Yeah. So that is what the meaning of a abstraction. Hiding implementation, how that is working, it is hidden. But what is required? How to use that application. Okay, install the app. So select mobile number, type some message, click on send button. That's it. The message will go. How that is going? It's hidden from us. So that is nothing. That's the meaning of abstraction here. Similarly, here also abstraction is there or not there? When we click on this balance button, how that balance is activating get method, how it is getting the money, is it required for us? Is it required? It's not required for us. Then whenever we click on this transfer button, we enter the some account number or mobile number, the money will be received by correct person only. But how it is going to correct person internally, we should not be bothered about it, right? That's why the second definition of encapsulation, the second definition of encapsulation is nothing but, it is only abstraction, or it's a abstraction and data hiding together. Both, right? So that's why the first way of defining encapsulation is binding logically related data into one common entity is called as encapsulation. Is one definition. What second definition? The data hiding plus abstraction. Abstraction together is called as second way of defining the encapsulation. Most of the people in the industry not aware of this. Because they are not aware, they will not agree also. But this is correct way. Second approach of defining encapsulation is, some will say only data hiding. No, it is combination of data hiding and also abstraction. So this is about the encapsulation and abstraction concepts. Then here, encapsulation is used to provide the security. Provide security.